Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Confidence Faith Podcast. My name is Samantha. I'm your relationship host, coach, and consultant. And I am here today to discuss a pretty big issue that is on my mind. Why is there such a big mental health issue? Now, this is a lot of my personal opinion, but I believe that it will help a lot of people understand what's going on in the world and why it's actually not working out as well as we thought it would. So, to begin, we live in a physical and a spiritual realm. So, what does that mean? That means that everything we see, touch, feel is physical. Everything we experience, like love, laughter, and bliss, is going to be considered spiritual. Why? Well, because your body actually lives on its own. So, what does this mean? If you think about it, your eyes blink on their own, your lungs work on its own, your body already knows how to swallow when you're born, your stomach just churns food on its own, your body tells you when you have to go to the bathroom, the blood in the heart pumps consistently without any need of you actually doing much. But when it comes to living being sharing experiences with others or feeling joy, also just feeling a sense of wholeness or encompassment of love, that's a whole different story. Now, why is that? I will specifically tell you. The reason is because we are spiritual before we are physical. That's why we're human beings. We are being human, or we are humans in the moment of being to be. And a lot of people don't recognize this. We think that we go day to day just fumbling through life almost as if it is not going to make any difference if we're a better person or we're not. But the thing is that in quantum communication, it explicitly can describe and explain why it's important for you to actually try and be a better person. So a lot of people may or may not have heard of like quantum entanglement, such as like a butterfly flap creates a tornado across the world, things like that. And so when it comes to quantum communication, as far as confidence, faith goes and helping you rediscover yourself, when you're going out and you're interacting with people on a daily basis, your reaction affects them. And then they go out into the world based on their interaction with you, whether good or bad, and they encounter new people. Now, let's say it's a bad day. You're having a terrible day, and you go and you're like, well, I can't believe they didn't open the door for me. And it's the day that like you've had enough. And you're like, I can't believe you didn't open the door for me. How rude could you be? You see, I have a purse, right? Well, that person has the chance to react negatively or they could react positively. Let's say they react negatively and they're like, "Psh, who says I need to open the door for you anyways?" Well, guess what? Now we've got a huge situation going on. And most people aren't ready for that because what happens is that person now is going to go and involve themselves with other people with that same mentality, the same, "Ugh, why does everyone feel entitled around me?" I mean, it could be this one-off chance that you ran into them. They were having a great day, but you and your negativity just bombed it, right? So, what I'm saying is that if this person were able to know who they were, to know their purpose, to know they're part of a bigger picture, they might say, I don't have to respond to this reaction. I don't have to be emotionally attached to this person's reaction. I don't have to meet their negativity. I'm actually going to recognize that they're on their own journey. I'm going to recognize that I've had bad days before. And I'm going to give them compassion. I'm going to say, you know what? I apologize. You're right. I could have opened that door. Now, what happens with this quantum communication is that your brain receives those photons of love and compassion and acceptance, and it bombards this negativity. It takes the negativity away in this revelation moment. And when it does that, then you are able to actually stop yourself. process how you're feeling and change your ways because then your next interactions are going to be totally different. So, in confidence, faith, I really want you to rediscover yourself because you do change the world. You do go and process wisdom. This event happened. It reminds me of that event, and I'm going to react this way so that I don't get hurt. I don't feel worthless. I don't feel unseen or unheard. And then you know what? This is how the spiritual works in. So all this is done in the physical, except the transferring of information. Now, in the spiritual, what happens is that blockage, when that positivity hits that negativity and it stops it dead in its tracks, and you start to have a better day. What happens is that you start to say, I am being a jerk today. What happens is you go and share that story from a place of love for how you've become a better person through this experience today. And you radiate that positivity, that love, those positive photons of light energy, which are the light waves that we see mixed with the sound waves that we hear, into this ripple effect, right? We're coming back of quantum communication. So, why is mental health happening and it's so drastic? It's because probably just my estimate is like 90% of the world has forgotten their spiritual. 90% of the world believes that what they see is all that there is. What they're in is all they can be. And the fact is that that's just not true. It's not true. I know that I've seen many things happen that people would say are not true. I know that spiritual gifts exist, and if we would embrace them instead of telling people they're weird, we would feel better about ourselves. If we spoke the words properly, and not let other people control what's coming out of our mouths by putting thoughts into our head, the world could change. So today I'm going to invite you. I'm going to tell you to share this video, like, subscribe. I don't care what you do, but get the word out that you can change the world. You rediscovering yourself, you knowing who you are, you taking that risk on changing your reaction in love, life, or business is all it takes. And I'm the relationship coach that's going to get you there. So you can email me at hello@confidencefaith.com. You can respond to this. You can do whatever you want to get in touch with me. But I'll tell you something. I am ready to help you rediscover yourself. So not only do you find purpose, but you feel whole. And then the best part about it, my favorite part, is you have tools to teach other people the way. And the reason that's my favorite is because that means others can be your children. You can change the next generation. So I'm very glad that you stopped by and watched. Please stay tuned for the next one, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.